Today's Wednesday, July 26th, 2023, and today I'm reading 1 Kings chapter 15. And if you're new to these videos, I've been reading through 1 Kings, and it's some really interesting historical, political, and talking about the establishment of the kingdom of Israel. And so, very interesting read. I'm enjoying myself, and today I'll just try to read through this. Not sure how much commentary I'll have. My last few videos, I feel like I've had a lot to say, so I don't know. I might just try to read through this one. 1 Kings chapter 15. Now, in the 18th year of King Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, reigned Abijah over Judah. 3 years reigned he in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Maacah, or Maachah, the daughter of Abishalom. And he walked in all the sins of his father, which he had done before him, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as the heart of David his father. Nevertheless, for David's sake, did the Lord his God give him a lamp in Jerusalem, to set up his son after him, and to establish Jerusalem. Because David did that which was right in the eyes of the Lord, and turned not aside from anything that he commanded him all the days of his life, save only in the matter of Uriah the Hittite. And there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam all the days of his life. Now the rest of the acts of Abijah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? And there was war between Abijah and Jeroboam. So it's interesting, all of these historical books where people are just mentioning, is it not written in this other place? An appeal to, there were just established histories at the time that people were supposed to already know, and I'm sure people did know what was written therein. And that's why they could say, well, I don't have to talk about that because it's already all contained in that book that you surely know about. It's just interesting which one of those books, I'm sure that people out there have tried to compile, which ones are still around, allegedly, which ones are missing, allegedly. It's hard to trust anything that is just handed to us today. Okay. Verse 8. And Abijah slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David, and Asa his son reigned in his stead. And in the 20th year of Jeroboam, the king of Israel, reigned Asa over Judah. And 41 years reigned he in Jerusalem. Excuse me. And his mother's name was Maacah, the daughter of Abishalom. And Asa did that which was right in the eyes of the Lord, as did David his father. And he took away the sodomites out of the land, and removed all the idols that his fathers had made. Wow, so we get some redemption here. And no, I mean, look, he got all the sodomites out of the land. It reminds me of the last video and the thumbnail I picked with the American flag and the gay flag underneath it. How does anybody deny the concept of like a gay mafia? Or in Hollywood, there's always been kind of a secret, there's this like gay mafia in Hollywood. Well, Hollywood, the government, it's all same thing, same people. So already infected at this point. The higher ups in our government system are sodomites, clearly. And I just think it's hilarious here that sodomites are like this targeted group of, they needed to be dealt with and removed from society. So he undid all the bad that his fathers did. I mean, maybe this is why there's generational, I kind of mentioned in the last one, how it seems like the line of David has like generational blessings as opposed to generational curses. And so maybe that's where it applies today. I just feel like a lot of us today feel like the family that we're born in is not necessarily like a blessed bloodline necessarily. So just like somebody can be born into an extremely blessed bloodline, and they can turn and be completely idolatrous and do horrible things. Maybe something that we're supposed to learn from that is, well, on the flip side of that, you can be born into complete wretchedness and turn from that and be a good person and follow God, even if the family that you're from didn't necessarily. Okay, so verse 13. And also, Maacah, his mother, even her he removed from being queen, because she had made an idol in a grove. And Asa destroyed her idol and burnt it by the brook Kidron. But the high places were not removed. Nevertheless, Asa's heart was perfect with the Lord all his days. And he brought in the things which his father had dedicated, and the things which himself had dedicated, into the house of the Lord, silver and gold and vessels. About the high place, I feel like by now all the high places have been destroyed. I think that on a lot of the old mountaintops, they probably had built giant temples and stuff. Is that not what this altars, at least? But these days, I don't think that exists anymore. They've probably just been bombed in history erasing efforts. They can't. It's actually, this is going to come out of left field for a lot of people. Subnautica. Did anyone play the game Subnautica? Spoiler alert. Skip forward if you don't want to get spoilers for Subnautica. Anyways, the big twist in the game Subnautica is you're supposed to be like, of course it's alien, you're supposed to be stranded on this pristine, untouched ocean alien land, but then, dun dun dun, the twist is you find that like people have been here before and built these ultra advanced things there before. It's not this new place. That's a meme, and it's an allegory for where we live. They constantly do this where people get their minds blown by what they think are these like original ideas, but more often than not, it's allegories for hidden knowledge about this place. The whole twist in the video game Subnautica, the twist is the fake history twist. The fact that we're actually standing on the ruins of an ultra-advanced civilization that has long since passed. That's the truth of this place. And to bring it back to this, the Bible, in my opinion, the Bible makes it seem like we should expect all sorts of structures on the highest places. But if you live anywhere where there's like a monumental, like a very striking mountain in the distance, anyone live near a big mountain and you can tell how much of a feature it is? It's like you notice it from so far away and it looks flat. If you start to learn about perspective, the way perspective things work, have you noticed how things really far in the distance, they take on like a pop-up book effect where it's like layers of flat things? Because by the time something's as far away as a mountain, the depth of the mountain, everything is basically the same distance from you. So that's why everything ends up getting this like storybook appearance to it in the background. Mountains especially, they look like a little storybook pop-up in the distance. But to finish my point, I think we should be expecting buildings on these mountains, but a lot of times there's nothing. And I've done some research into high places in like Ireland, and there's a suspicious amount of large rubble on the top of mountains. How do you get all this rubble, giant stone rubble on the top of a mountain? It seems most likely that there used to be something there and it's been blasted to pieces by now. Oh, another meme that I think of a lot of times that I don't hear people bring up. Do you know how back in the olden times, the prisoners are always depicted as taking big rocks and smashing them into smaller rocks? That's another history erasure meme. They take people and imprison them, and then they take the old world blocks and have them smash them to pieces so they're not recognizable anymore. You know, go into a city with a zillion old world buildings, and they have a bunch of people imprisoned who can't really see the big picture, see what's going on, and they're taking the bricks of an old world building and smashing them into rubble so that it no longer resembles its old self. That's another thing that's just been clicking with me recently when it comes to old world reset stuff. Okay. Um, and there was war between Asa and Baasha, king of Israel, all their days. And Baasha, king of Israel, went up against Judah and built Ramah, that he might not suffer any to go out or come in. Asa, king of Judah. Is it like he's building a bulwark? I don't think that's the name. Like he's building a city in order to block out other cities. Anyways, siege combat. This was very... I mean, I played so many of these games when I was growing up. Age of the Empires, and where you're building your city and then you got to get your trebuchets to bash down the other. That really is what biblical times were like. They were building fortified cities. You'd have to go in and smash their cities. And they built so much of this stuff that it's still around today. And that's the old world history stuff that they have to make up a bunch of BS stories. Oh, that's an old Civil War fort. How many Civil War forts are out there? Man, during the Civil War, they were really building things. Anyways. I guess I do have stuff to ramble about today. Then Asa took all the silver and the gold that were left in the treasures of the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the king's house, and delivered them into the hands of his servants. And King Asa sent them to Benhadad, the son of Tabermon, the son of Hezion, king of Syria, that dwelt at Damascus, saying, There is a league between me and thee, and between my father and thy father. Behold, I have sent unto thee a present of silver and gold. Come and break thy league with Baasha king of Israel, that he may depart from me. So Benhadad hearkened unto King Asa, and sent the captains of the hosts which he had against the cities of Israel, and smote Ijon, and Dan, and Adel-beth-maachah, and all Cinneroth, with all the land of Naphtali. And it came to pass, when Baasha heard thereof, that he left off building of Ramah, and dwelt in Tirzah. Then King Asa made a proclamation throughout all Judah, none was exempted, and they took away the stones of Ramah, and the timber thereof, wherewith Baasha had builded, and King Asa built with them Geba of Benjamin, and Mizpah. So they, if I'm interpreting this right, I don't ever put too much pressure on myself when things get murky like that, at least, maybe I'll say complicated. When things start to get overly complicated, I just try to get a vague picture of what's happening. So they were trying to build this city to block off people, some sort of political, military type strategy city. And now they're like, nope. And then they go and take all the stones down and wood and go build a new place. I just find that interesting. The rest of all the acts of Asa and all his might and all that he did in the cities which he built, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? What's interesting, though, is that it keeps mentioning this Chronicle of Kings, but are we not reading Kings? And is this not First Kings? So is the First Kings not at all the First Kings? And am I missing some sort of zero Kings? Probably somebody in the comments knows. Still on verse 23. Nevertheless, in the time of his old age, he was diseased in his feet. And Asa slept with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David his father, and Jehoshaphat his son reigned in his stead. Wonder if he had gout. Is gout a foot thing? Or like diabetes or something? And Nadab, the son of Jeroboam, began to reign over Israel in the 2nd year of Asa, king of Judah, and reigned over Israel 2 years. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the way of his father, and in his sin, wherewith he made Israel to sin. And Baasha, the son of Ahijah, of the house of Issachar, conspired against him, and Baasha smote him at Gibbethon, which belonged to the Philistines, for Nadab and all Israel laid siege to Gibbethon. Even in the 3rd year of Asa, king of Judah, did Baasha slay him, and reign in his stead. A lot of political unrest still happening. And it came to pass when he reigned that he smote all the house of Jeroboam. He left not to Jeroboam any that breathed, until he had destroyed him. according unto the saying of the Lord, which he spake by his servant Ahijah the Shilonite. Because of sins of Jeroboam, which he sinned, and which he made Israel sin, by his provocation, wherewith he provoked the Lord God of Israel to anger. Now the rest of the acts of Nadab, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And there was war between Asa and Baasha, king of Israel, all their days. In the 3rd year of Asa, king of Judah, began Baasha, the son of Ahijah, to reign over all Israel and Tirzah, 24 years. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, and walked in the way of Jeroboam, and his sin wherewith he made Israel to sin. Okay, so, I mean, to me it just seems like this is the spiritual war between good and evil goes back, obviously, all the way to the beginning, to the garden. And here it just seems like a continuation of that, where you have God's kingdom, but you perpetually have these people turning away and trying to bring it into idolatry. But then you'll have some people that are on the side of good and going back and forth, it seems. And so that's just what it reminds me of, this perpetual, at least perpetual until the end, this ongoing, maybe I should say, ongoing spiritual battle that's happening between good and evil. And it just reminds me of the idea of us down here being just pieces on a chessboard, where in the cloud above that chessboard, really what's going on is this all-encompassing war of good and evil, and it just is influencing the chessboard, and the pieces know about it or don't know about it, I guess. The greater things happening above them. Anyways, like I said, I didn't intend for this to be a ramble video, but it all came out, so hope you enjoyed. God bless everyone.